Hi guys, it's Emily here from Aussie Free Girl, and we had the baby. So this is going to be a different kind of video than my usually scheduled programming. So if you want to skip this, that's fine, and I'll have new videos out next week. But this is going to be a vlog slash birth story on our newest family member. He was born 6 days ago. Right over there. So yeah, I didn't get as much video as I wanted or as many pictures as I wanted, because once things started to pick up, it was the last thing on people's minds. So I do have a few little clips, nothing graphic, that I will show you now, and then I will come back and kind of give you an overview sort of timeline of events and how it all kind of went down. So yeah, if you like this kind of thing, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I will catch you guys in the next one. So I had an unmedicated, unassisted home birth, or a free birth. Any way you birth your baby is right for you. I have had a emergency C-section, a VBAC at the hospital, and this was our home birth. So we had two doulas, my mother-in-law and my best friend, and we live less than 5 minutes from our nearest hospital. But I do have quite significant birth trauma at our hospital, so we wanted to avoid going there as much as humanly possible. So yeah, any way you want to birth your baby, feed your baby, that's all up to you. So yeah, if that's something that you are uncomfortable with or you might have issues with, don't go forward. Hi guys, it's Emily from Aussie Free Girl here, back with another video, a different kind of video. I think this is going to be my birth video, I don't know. It is 8 o'clock in the morning on November the 4th. I woke up to contractions at 5:45 a.m. in the morning, and I wasn't able to go back to sleep, so I just kind of dozed, and here we are. They're about 3 minutes apart, 2.5, 3 minutes apart, and they're pretty good. They're not like super duper 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 bad, but they're enough to bring a tear to the corner of my eye. Hubby took the day off work and tomorrow because he wanted to give me time to relax, and obviously he kind of knew this was going to happen, or at least he's going to tell me he did. So yeah, he's just doing the school run at the moment, and then he'll be back, so I'm alone for about an hour, so I'm going to have a nice warm shower and use that to help with the pain, and then we're going to get the home birth area set up once he's home, and it's just us for a couple of hours. And I'm timing them at the moment just to make sure that they're still coming and that they're staying consistent, and that this is go time, but I feel like it is. Alright, I'll catch you later in the video. So, if you have been watching my channel for a little while, you know that we were pregnant with baby number 3, and you probably know that I was in labour a couple of weeks ago because I posted a video of a grocery haul and doing a few things to prep while I was in labor. Turns out I was in predominal labor, which basically is like a very long, slow labor that can last several days or several weeks in my case. So I was in that for about 4 weeks. I was having pretty consistent, strong contractions, more than Braxton Hicks. And they generally would pick up at nighttime and become quite like solid. And then when I was alone with the kids during the day, they would still be there, but they would become very mild. And then hubby would come home from work about 4:30, and then by about 5:30, they would start to kick up again. So my body wasn't letting me sort of advance while I was alone with the kids, but as soon as I felt comfortable and hubby was home and I was relaxed, it would pick up and would work and go a bit faster. So while that was happening, I was dilating, obviously. So it was actually doing something. It was just very long and slow because I couldn't relax. So I have my little notes down here because it's already a little fuzzy. All those good hormones make it sort of disappear so that you'll do it again. So our due date was the 2nd of November to the 4th of November. I had 2 sort of due dates depending on size and dates and conception and all of that. So nothing really happened on the 2nd. It kind of calmed down a bit. So hubby decided to take the Thursday and the Friday of that week off to give me a break, do the school run, and let me sort of relax because I was having trouble relaxing. And obviously with all the laboring, I was very sore and tired, and we wanted to make sure that I had plenty of energy for when things did start. So hubby organized to take the Thursday and the Friday off. The Wednesday night, we decided to have a candlelit bath and Epsom salts to relax my muscles. I pulled some muscles and just relaxing, listening to my hypnobirthing track and just trying to be zen, I guess. And we planned to go on a little date, like a last minute lunch or something, just the 2 of us before baby came, after hubby did the school run on the Thursday. That didn't end up happening. So yeah, after our bath and everything, we went to bed and watched a movie and then eventually went to sleep. I was having very consistent but mild contractions and I was able to sleep. November the 4th, I woke up at 5:50 with mild to moderate contractions that were staying quite consistent and close together. And I know everyone's told, under 5 minutes, go to the hospital of that. My labors are a little different. I start at about 4 to 5 minutes and sort of stay there until I'm pushing. So they were about 4 to 5 minutes apart, lasting a minute and a half. But they were quite consistent and they were having that sort of burning, pulling feeling, which told me that this might be the real deal. I didn't want to say that because every time I've said that or thought that in the last few weeks, it's died off. So I didn't want to jinx it. So I got up, I had a nice warm shower, I had some Panadol, I got dressed for the day, and then hubby went and did the school run and the daycare run at about 8 a.m. Left me home alone, which was kind of nice. I used the shower to manage the pain and the birth ball. And then my best friend arrived. She comes around on a Thursday and she does some cleaning for me and I pay her so that to take some of the pressure off while I was super duper pregnant and now while I've got a newborn. But she came around and she helped support me and took care of me and chatted with me while she was tidying up my house. And I was sorry, I thought I heard the baby, new mom ears, I had to go check. So yeah, she was chatting with me and just sort of being around and tidying up in that while I was sort of nesting and putting together the birth space, the stuff that I could do in between contractions. So laying out a doona under the bottom of a painter's tarp where the birth pool would be, so it would be a bit softer to walk on. And for in the birth pool, the birth pool has like a bit of a an inflated bottom, but it's like only like this thick, which turns out was plenty thick enough, but I wanted to make sure I wasn't going to hurt my knees while I was in there. I didn't want to be distracted. So I did that. I laid out a blanket, which you would have seen on the floor in the lounge room where my birth ball was, so that I could get down on the floor there. I could be on the ball there if that worked. I just wanted to have options, and I made the house dark and cozy and warm because that helps stimulate the labor hormones, and also when you're in labor you want it to be dark and cozy and safe. Sorry, the big one came out to get some food and stuff and forage. It's a little hectic here. So yeah, then hubby got home about 9 after doing school run and everything. He also picked up some milk while he was doing that, so we could have a cup of tea and all of that and calm down. Then he set up the stuff that he had to set up, so moving the coffee table into place, putting out all of the supplies that I had collected, blowing up the actual birth pool, and then running the lights inside the birth pool and putting the liner on. So that was all set up and ready to go. We didn't fill it yet. We would fill it later because it's not going to stay hot all day, and that's not when I needed it, but I wanted it ready to go and everything ready to go. I also had like clean towels and everything for after I had the baby, so I could have a really nice shower, get really clean, you know, use a big fluffy towel, all of that. So yeah, from about 9 to 11 we called my mother-in-law about 10:30 because I felt like I needed a bit more support, but I wasn't ready for the doulas to come yet. It was still very, very early. I had 2 doulas that I was keeping in touch with through this whole thing. I let them know first thing in the morning that I was having consistent contractions, and sort of just kept them updated. Then my best friend left and my mother-in-law arrived, and hubby went and did school run again to pick up one of them. So from 11 till about 3 o'clock, labored, I bounced on the ball, I did some curb walking, and eventually when the contractions were so bad that I was like crying during them, my mother-in-law bought this big back massager that was glorious, because that and the counter pressure on the hips was the only thing getting me through, and I was just trying to get through each contraction because it was so painful. So yeah, Mr. 8 was home at this point, and he ended up helping fill the birth pool. So what we did was we ran a hose from under the washing machine, from the hot tap under the washing machine to the pool, put about 15 centimeters of cold to lukewarm water out of that into the pool, then hot water from that, doesn't actually get that hot, into the pool, and then we had 5 big stock pots on the gas stovetop with boiling water that then hubby would put into the pool until we got it up to temperature. We wanted it to be about 37 degrees. By the time I did it, it was about 38, and it cooled off pretty quickly. So I think we only had to add, 2 kettles to keep it warm, and then we added a kettle after I had the baby, just to keep the pool warm enough while we were sort of sitting there all together. So yeah, I got in the pool at 4 p.m. Wait, I should go back. So at 3 p.m. we were doing all of that, starting to get things ready, not filling the pool yet. At about 3:20 I called the doula and I was like, hey, I'm gonna need you to come, because she was about an hour away. They both were. One was an hour north and the other one was an hour south, and only one of them could make it because one of their childcare, they had a childcare emergency. So I told her to sort of start making her way over here. We all kind of felt like I still had plenty of time to go, but I was starting to get to the point where I needed more help with the pain, so positioning and just support. So called her at 3:20, so she boxed everything up and jumped in the car. Turns out traffic was really bad. 3:30 on a weekday. I mean, we should have known. It's that peak hour, school time, end of the workday time. But yeah, she started on her way, and then they filled up the birth pool. It was done right about 4 o'clock. I climbed in, and everybody told me that getting into the warm water of the birth pool would likely slow things down and give me a bit of a break in between contractions, and they might like space out a little bit. So I got in, I had my first contraction in the pool, which still sucked. And then I had another one right after. So what I actually ended up doing was I ended up leaning up against the edge of the birth pool, my belly in the water and my back and bum up in the air so that they could put the massager on the small of my back, because it's the only thing getting me through. And turns out, as I was getting in and I was crying and I was using my comb and the heat and the massager, I didn't realize it at the time, and I should have, but I was actually in transition. So I started saying things like, I don't like it, I don't like it, help me. During contraction, I would say, help me. I don't want to do this anymore, which I'd prepared my birth team for. We had a safe word in place so that I could say anything I needed to say without them doing anything. If I needed to say it, I could say it. But if I said the safe word, then they knew to take me seriously. But I would say, I don't like it. I said that a lot. I hate it. I don't want to do this anymore. Give me the drugs. All of that fun stuff. But it turns out I was in transition. I got a little nauseous. And then my body started doing FER, which is, for those who don't know, fetal ejection reflex. Basically, my body started pushing him out without me doing anything, and I couldn't physically stop it. So we actually had to, TMI, actually had to cut my underwear off because I couldn't move out of the position I was in, because I was just getting back-to-back contractions with that pushing. So they actually had to cut it off, and I put my hand down and I could feel him, and then I had another contraction and his head delivered, and then I wanted to stop, pant through it, let everything expand, and then on the next contraction he would turn, do a cardinal movement, turn, and then on the next contraction I would deliver the shoulders and the baby. Couldn't do that because I couldn't stop myself because it was FER. So I delivered the head, and then the next contraction I asked for a hand mirror. I wanted to see, but I couldn't move out of my position to actually look, so I just had my hand on his head feeling it. And then the next contraction came about 10 seconds later, and he actually turned and delivered at the same time and shot across the birth pool, and my lovely mother-in-law grabbed him out, and I was able to flip around instantly and grab him. He was born 8 pounds and 4 ounces, or 3 kilos and 3.82 kilos. He was born wide awake, happy. He didn't need any help. He was perfectly pink, looking at me. He didn't cry or anything. He just sort of sat there looking at us, looking very, very confused and grumpy. So yeah, he was born at 4:36. I was pushing for maybe 10 minutes. Maybe, I'm not exactly sure when the FER started at first. I wasn't sure on the first contraction or two if I was pushing until I was paying attention. So I only pushed for about 10 minutes. I went into labor at 10 to 6 in the morning, and I had him at 4:36. So that's however many hours. Just over 10. Yeah, just over 10 hours, which is not bad. I had no tearing, no grazes, and no swelling whatsoever. I was kind of perfect right after. And about an hour later, I delivered the placenta. We cuddled on the couch. I delivered the placenta. Once the by that point the placenta had stopped pumping, so we did delayed cord clamping, and I tied his cord and I cut his cord. The doula arrived 15 minutes after I'd had the baby, which was fine. I was very grateful to have her because it just felt good to be able to give up control and be like, okay, somebody else is in charge right now. I can just, focus on my baby and feeding him and cuddling with him and all of that. She stayed for about 2 hours. She helped me have a shower. She was amazing. She made me and hubby a cup of tea. She took all of the towels, because we had towels on the couch, towels on everything. She took all the towels, put them in the washing. She checked the placenta to make sure it was whole, because that's really important for my health and safety. She kept an eye on my bleeding, and she kept an eye on baby, checked him out. She helped hubby weigh him. So yeah, and then she also checked in on us the next day, and then a couple of days later, and if I had any questions I could message her and the other doula as well. They were absolutely amazing. I really grateful I had home birth. I honestly didn't think I could really do it, but I did it and it went so well, and I feel so good that I could do it again. We're not having any more. Hubby's had the service disconnected, but it was a really good experience, and our baby is perfectly healthy, happy, and here, and I will show you him next. So this is my baby. No. So this is baby number 3. He was 8 pounds 4 ounces, or 3.8 kilos. He is perfect. He is the quietest, chillest little baby that you would ever meet. He sleeps a lot. He's a newborn, but he sleeps a lot and he loves to sleep. And yeah, he's got a full head of blonde hair. So yeah, if you like this kind of thing, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Let me know if you want to see more lifestyle-y, mummy stuff with everything that's going on here. See you next time.